live look at our favorite eagles, Jackie and Shadow. There is a lot of anxiety this morning for those of us who have been closely watching for eaglets. We have learned that none of the 3 eggs are viable. The group that monitors the birds say it is probably unlikely for them to hatch at this point.
We're joined live by Sandy Steers, Executive Director of Friends of Big Bear Valley. Sandy, this is so sad. This is the second year in a row that we've now seen this happen. Is there any chance, can we hold out any hope that maybe at least one egg could hatch?
It's yes, it's still possible that something could happen unusual. Right now it's past the time that Jackie's eggs have hatched, but I think another day before it's past the time that any eagle eggs have hatched. But those are just the ones on record. We don't know what's happened in the deep forests.
Oh, it's so sad. We've all been so excited and they've been so dedicated. I think that's what's so heartbreaking about it, is that they have been so dedicated to these eggs, especially given last year what happened. So how common is it for eggs not to hatch, and what are some possible reasons that they wouldn't hatch?
It is actually more common than we would like to think that eagle eggs don't hatch. They're in other nests, they don't hatch as well sometimes. And it's all kinds of reasons. It can be environmental reasons, such as the temperatures that are happening when the eggs are laid or when they're incubating. It can be the percentage of humidity that's in the air, and for us it can also be the oxygen levels, because we're at such a high altitude, higher than most eagle nests, so I think than any. And so that can make a difference. All those things can matter. It could be just biological, that something was off at the moment, when they created the eggs or they were laid. There's all kinds of reasons, and unfortunately we don't have any way of knowing what the reasons are anytime.
Oh, I had no idea that they're so delicate in so many ways. Do the eagles understand grief? Do they have a sense of loss? How will this, how do they move forward?
I believe that they do. They understand something about the sadness or the emotions. We've seen Shadow in the past stand over the eggs that a predator got after they weren't going to be viable, and he just stood there staring at them and looking sad and like he didn't really want to accept what was going on. And he's also less likely to give up than Jackie. When she gave up on the eggs before, she stopped staying on them at night, and Shadow spent the next 3 nights being on the eggs at night because he wouldn't give up. And even though she was calling him from the roosting site, he would stay there on the eggs and just wouldn't give it up. And so there's something going on inside of him. We don't know if it's the same as our emotions, but he's definitely behaving and acting differently than when everything is fine.
This is making me so sad. So is that the normal process? Normally both birds would leave the nest and kind of let predators come get the unhatched eggs?
That's fairly normal. What they do is they just start leaving gaps in when one is on the nest and the other one, between the time one leaves and the other one shows up, and leave little gaps in there, and then eventually they just stop coming to the nest.
Okay, well, Sandy, if there is a miracle, we want you to come back and break that news here with us, and we appreciate you being with us throughout the course of this whole process and allowing us insight and being able to watch our favorite eagles.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Still to come.